Welcome. In this video, we'll be creating a simple component and demonstrating how to modify its webs. There are a variety of settings available during the creation process that can be found after a component has been created and inserted. These settings will be mentioned here, but covered in detail in a separate video. Let's get started. To start creating a component, let's make sure you are in design mode by clicking Design from the header menu. If there are no components in the project, the design mode will start the process of creating a new component. The following will demonstrate the process of creating components. The 3 steps in creating a component are: 1. Define the basic shape. 2. Define the shape details. 3. Define the structural details. Let's take a look at the first step, defining the basic shape of the component. There are 2 types of components, profile and feature pattern. Profile components are defined by their profile or outline. These are most commonly known as roof trusses. Feature pattern trusses are defined by their features or end conditions and interior patterns. These are most commonly known as floor trusses. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will focus on creating a profile for a roof truss. There are 3 methods for this process, each containing 3 steps to finalize and insert the component. Here we will discuss and show the 3 methods, and then we will walk through the full process using the profile method. First, let's take a look at method 1. Before we do, click Cancel and then OK to confirm, if you have started or are in the middle of a component, to start from a fresh scene. Method 1. Draw a freeform profile from scratch. For this method, you simply click Create and select Component, then move your mouse in the scene and click to draw the lines that define the truss profile. You can use the Snapping Mode tool to adjust the snapping behavior for the lines being drawn. To draw the upper profile, simply move your mouse below the bearings and click in the empty space. Click one more time to close out the profile. Click Next and then Insert to complete the truss. To start the next method, right-click inside the scene and click Component to start. Method 2. Manually input lines with the Profile Line tools. For those who prefer to input lines manually, the Profile Line tools contain distance and slope inputs for line definition. Enter 12 feet for the distance and 612 for the slope. Click Add Line. Next, we will add the other side of the truss with a -612 for the slope. Click Add Line. Lines can be added and deleted using the Add Line and Backup buttons. Next, click on Close Profile, and then Next, and then Insert to place the truss. Now let's use the last method. Right-click inside the scene and click on Component to start Method 3. Method 3. Pick a common shape. For our third example, we'll create another component and select from predefined shapes. There are a few common truss shapes to choose from as a starting point for a component. The choices are common, gable, jack, scissor, and a few others. For this demo, we will select Common. Review the shape details as shown in the boxes for length, slope, heel heights, and overhangs. If needed, you can edit the truss to meet the needs for your design. For demonstration purposes, we will leave the settings as they are. Now select Next and then Insert. Once again, the truss is placed. Now let's walk through creating a truss to demonstrate the steps. For this tutorial, we will use the Profile Line tool. So let's start by creating a new component. Click Create from the menu, or right-click inside the scene. In the right sidebar, we will enter a few values. The default length for the profile is 24 feet. For this tutorial, we will accept that and move to the profile lines. For the first line, enter 12 feet and press Tab. Next, we will enter the slope to be 612. To accept, click Add Line. For the next line, leave the distance at 12 feet, but change the slope to a -612 to add the other top chord and click Add Line. At this point, the top chords are defined. We are looking for a flat bottom chord, so we can simply click Close Profile to finish the profile and move on to the shape details. The second step is defining the shape details. The Shape Details panel allows you to modify the overall length, the heel settings for both left and right sides, the left and right overhangs, and more to dial in the specifics of your profile. For our example, let's remove the overhangs by setting the left overhang distance to 0 and right overhang distance to 0. Press Enter to accept the values. Great. Click the Next button to move on to Step 3. The third and final step is defining the structural details. Here you can modify the spacing, plies, top and bottom max panel lengths, and more. Additionally, you can make modifications to the component in the scene. For additional resources on editing details, visit Paragon Documentation. For this truss, we will move into editing in the scene window. Now let's right-click the bottom profile line and click Add Panel to create a simple How truss. The truss configuration should have updated to look like this. If needed, additional details can be edited in the dialog box panel. You can access and modify the load settings, analysis settings, and material settings for this component. For now, we will leave these set to their defaults. Click the Insert button to finish component creation. Even after a component has been inserted, it can be further modified. It is easy to add, modify, and remove webs. Let's say you want to modify the two angled members on either side of the central member of this truss to intersect at the top instead of the bottom. One method would be to delete the member and draw a new one. Simply right-click a member and select Delete. Now that the member has been deleted, a new one can be added by either clicking the Create button or right-clicking in the scene and selecting the member option. We are going to add a new member by clicking the two desired endpoints. Move your cursor over the intersection of the top right side of the central member and the top chord and click. Do the same for the other end by moving your mouse over the intersection of the left side of the vertical member and the bottom chord and click. The member is inserted and cut automatically. Press Escape. Your truss should now look like this. Another helpful tool for this scenario would be right-clicking the other member and selecting the Reverse Web option. This dynamically reverses the web and automatically updates the cuts. There are many additional tools and shortcuts for creating and editing components. These can be found on Paragon's documentation site, but for now, this truss can be called complete. And that does it for an introduction to component insertion and web modification. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.